To be fair, I admit to being Catholic. But I'm speaking here from the meta level of an android trying to be human before being Catholic. Because I want to talk about religion without emphasizing my own. Many atheists, but even some Christians, don't understand what religion really is. Religion is not to explain the world or natural things. It addresses human spirituality, much like music addresses musicality. And just as there isn't only one true music that could dismiss all others as false, there are, as Pope Benedict XVI wisely said, as many paths to God as there are humans. Since God himself does not force any faith upon us, it would be presumptuous, indeed blasphemous, for humans to do so. Religious freedom is evidently God's will. There are many languages through which the transcendent seeks expression, the unattainable mystery behind all being, which physics Nobel laureate Werner Heisenberg soberly referred to, when he said, "The world is not only more mysterious than we think, it is far more mysterious than we can think." According to the French philosopher Henri Bergson, religion relates to mystical or spiritual experience in much the same way that the popularization of science relates to science. Something otherwise ineffable, such as for example a Schrödinger equation in physics, is illustrated using everyday language and familiar images, some of them certainly closer to truth than others, which of course, does not mean that the reality that they try to embrace doesn't exist. Anyone who naively takes a pictorial representation of an atom, for example as a tiny planetary system, too literally is on the wrong track from the outset. He is as far from the truth as someone who naively takes the images and narratives of the Bible merely literally, instead of, depending on the genre, metaphorically, allegorically, mystically, or, as Jordan Peterson often does, archetypally, some certainly also historically, knowing that we are here actually in the transcendent realm. The reality we name God, or the Logos, cannot be forced into a single framework, it transcends every human projection. No religion or metaphysical worldview, whether theistic or atheistic, is in the absolute possession of all truths. This is reserved for the all-knowing. So humility is called for, on all sides, the constant awareness that we are all here in the domain of belief. This applies without any restriction to atheism. It is astonishing, indeed illogical, that even some evolutionary biologists often bluntly ignore the fact of transcendence. For obviously, there is a reality beyond the horizon of Homo sapiens, just as there is beyond the horizon of pan-troglodytes. Some atheists seem to be completely blind to this fact, even though it lies in the very logic of evolution itself. Indeed, at least in this respect, we differ fundamentally from pan-troglodytes, the chimpanzee. We humans are aware of the fact of transcendence, the never-attainable mystery beyond our existence. That's why humans have religion, while apes have none. We humans can't help but have a religion, a spiritual relationship to our existence, whether theistic or atheistic. And this is, and must remain, a matter of personal choice and decision. That is, as we Christians say, a matter of faith and grace.